Hey guys, it's Dr. Reynolds from Mountain View Equine Hospital. Today I'd like to demonstrate to you guys how to do a hand tie to tie suture. Typically here at this practice, most of the time I'm using hand ties when I'm tying in a catheter, but it can be used for many different circumstances, and it's a great useful tool to have, especially for those vet students and vet tech students out there. So I wanted to just demonstrate how to do this. So I'm gonna first demonstrate with this ribbon. It's a little bit easier to see and easier to maneuver. And then once I show you guys how to do it on the ribbon, then I'll go over and do it with suture so you can see how to do it with that as well. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna name this my needle end. I'm gonna put my needle end through the loop and pull it through until I have a fairly short tail like I would for a catheter. I'll make it a little bit longer for demonstration purposes, but a short tail. All right, so I'm gonna have this as my downside, and when I have the tail on the downside, I want the end of the tail facing up. Then when I have it on my upside, I'm gonna hold up my hands this way, and I want the end of the tail facing down. So it's pretty much just the opposite. When I'm down, I want my tail facing up. And when I'm up, I want my tail facing down. So we'll start out in the up position. So I have it looped around my finger, my tail looped around my finger. And I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna take my needle end, loop it around my finger, come across, and then take my tail end and push it through my loop. And see when I grab it, I'm gonna grab it in this position. So when I pull down, my hands are already in place how I want them, and my end of my tail is already facing up. So then I'm gonna take my middle finger this time and grab my needle end and push my tail end through the loop. And again, now my tail end is already in position to pull up, tail end facing down. So then I'm gonna take my index finger, loop my needle end, and pull my tail end through. And since I'm down, I'm gonna take my middle finger, grab my needle end, and push my tail end through and pull tight. So I'll show that to you again, both ways. Now you can see my left hand here is pretty much just holding on and not doing anything except for kind of being my switch to pull in either direction. So I've done a few here. Typically, if I'm tying in a catheter, I'll do about 4 of these knots. In practice, I can sit here and just do this all day long. But now that you guys have seen the basics on the ribbon, we'll go over now and practice on the suture. Okay, so here we have the suture. For this demonstration, I'm gonna be using a straight needle. That's what I'm typically using when I'm placing catheters and tying in the catheters, but you can use a curved needle, any string, rope, or suture. So I'm gonna start out by taking a big chunk, and I'm gonna pull my tail, or my suture, through until I have a fairly short tail. I'm gonna make my tail a little bit longer than what it would be for tying in a catheter for the purposes of this demonstration, but you still want your tail shorter than your needle end. So we're gonna start out in the same up position. Again, when we're up, I have my tail end facing down. A lot of times when I'm tying in these catheters using this suture, I'm holding it a little bit closer to the end. For this demonstration, I'm gonna be holding it a little bit higher up so you can see which direction my tail and my tail end are facing. So we're gonna start in the up position, like I said, tail end facing down, and go the same way. So my index finger is gonna start, and we're gonna loop the needle end around, and then we're gonna push that tail end through and grab it the same way to pull down with my tail down but facing up. So then my middle finger is gonna come around and grab that needle end, push that tail end through, and then come back and tighten down. Now real quick, I wanna just stop here and show you guys. So the knots that we're making with doing this hand tie are just simple square knots. So you can see how nice and flat this first knot is, and then how nice and flat this second one is as we tighten it down. That's what you wanna see. Occasionally with suture, it can get a little bendy, and you can end up making false square knots or grandma knots, but you wanna make sure that everything is laying nice and flat when you do that. So again, we're up, tail down, index finger is gonna get looped with the needle end, tail end is going to push through, we're gonna grab, pull down, and again, nice and flat knot, pull through, middle finger is gonna loop, push through, pull up, and I'll show you guys one more time. Loop, push, pull down, and then loop, push, and pull up. So pretty much suture is the same as the ribbon, it's just a little bit less flexible, but it is the same basic steps. I hope this was a helpful video. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below or contact us on our website at mveh.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, MT View Equine Hospital. Thanks so much for watching.